Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mount & Blade Bannerlord. Now today we're going to be doing a very quick guide on just how to improve your standing with your faction that you're serving. In other words, how to get more settlements gifted to you and just how to basically improve your position in a faction when you serve one. For example, I'm with the Southern Empire and I have been gifted or given Lavenia Castle, Danastica, Onira, and Chaikand. I own more settlements or more towns than anyone else in the Empire. Now, it's very simple to do. Well, I say simple. It's not too easy to do. You've got to put a bit of work in, but it's simple in the actual ways to get round to doing it. So the first thing you want to do, so literally as you start and join the kingdom, you want to befriend the leader. That is your main person. You want to befriend the leader of the kingdom. In this case, I think it's Regea, the Empress. As soon as you're good with their clan, because she has deciding vote on everything, she'll opt for you to take control of a settlement. Most often, like 80 times out of 100. That was a weird figure. Don't know why I used it. 2 out of 3 times. Much better. I don't know where I was going with that. I think I was going percentages and then I kind of ruined it. Yeah, but essentially you want to befriend the main clan first. Once you've got really good relationships with them, and it's really easy to do. So, like more often than not, as soon as you're at war with somebody, the leader will start up an army. Now, literally all you have to do is keep visiting that army, and they'll have a task ready for you. Now, the best one that you can do is when they ask you to bring them a prisoner, and that can boost your relation with them from 20 to 40 points in certain cases, depending on how hard the person is to actually capture. But if you bring them a prisoner of war, you boost your relationship massively with that person, and you'd only have to do it a couple of times before you're at max relationship with them, which is my case. This is exactly what I have with the leading clan. Now, after you've done that with the leader, don't stop there. If you boost your relationship with other clans, and if you get 1, 2, maybe even 3 clans backing you in most decisions, that they will grant you the best properties and settlements within the game. It's really simple. You just have to put a bit of work in beforehand to build up your relationships with each individual one. Yeah, essentially you've just got to befriend the clans. It helps the higher clan tier you are. It does help in which settlements you get given. If you're a clan tier 6, you should automatically be given better settlements was compared with most. The amount of influence you have as well, not only can you then basically just put influence towards yourself getting it, so I think 100 influence is the most you can put, which will massively boost your chances of getting a settlement, but just the overall amount you have stocked up impacts everyone else's essentially opinions of you. So the more influence you have, the more likely they'll opt for you to take over a settlement. But yeah, as you can see, I own 3 of the towns out of, I think, the 5 or 6 that the entire empire holds. So, okay, it's quite a few more, but still, I own 3 of them, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left, which is really good. So I'm earning a hell of a lot of money from that. But yeah, essentially that is it. And otherwise, if you lead the assaults on the settlements when you're at war, you have more of a chance of being selected to own it. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who takes it. It's more matters on your relationships, because you could go ahead and take every single place. You could be the leader of the army or do it by yourself and literally take every single castle and town. And you'd find that you wouldn't get most of them given to you anyway, and you wouldn't even be considered as an option. So honestly, it doesn't matter whether or not you take them or somebody else takes them. What matters more is that you have good relationships with the people who can vote for you, essentially. And there are certain charm skills where you can go down the tree and you can get more people to vote for you that way, and there's less like penalties and repercussions from when you vote for people or vote for yourself. So there's loads of other things that factor in to help it down the charm tree and things like that can help you out a lot. But essentially all you want to do is to boost your standing. Every time somebody forms an army, go and talk to the leader. Even if there's no exclamation mark, they usually have a task related to the army that you can do, and it's usually quite quick. You can even send a companion off to do it, and you'll get your relation boosted with that person. So don't go looking for individuals, just go and look for armies as soon as they form them, and you only need to boost relationships with the clan, so it only needs to be one of them. Ideally, try and help the leaders, but they're the ones that should form the armies anyway. But just literally go to any army. As you can see, I think we've got 2 up at the moment, but as soon as they form, they usually have a quest. Literally immediately as they form, they usually have a task that needs doing. So every time somebody forms an army, just go up to it, ask them if they need any tasks done, or just ask anyone else. Usually if anyone else has a task, they'll come up with an exclamation mark when it says talk to other leaders, but usually the actual leader, it won't have an exclamation mark, but they usually do have a task ready for you to do. So you can do it that way. It's quite simple, it's quite easy. But otherwise, yeah, no, taking the prisoners one is definitely the best, and other ways is just to essentially just take prisoners, take over lands. It doesn't help you that much, nowhere near as much as doing tasks, but it does help. It does help your standing. Taking prisoners, it usually counts more. Taking prisoners and putting them in dungeons counts more. But otherwise, yeah, you just got to join in with armies. You've got to help out armies when they're being attacked, and other than that, it is pretty, at the moment in the game, the only way to boost your relationships with people when serving in kingdoms is really to fight. It's either to fight or do tasks, and you've got to save them when they're under attack, or just go with them and join them in their combats. But the only way you can really boost it is if you just do tasks for people and boost your relationships with them. That's the only real way to increase your standing. Unfortunately, it will change in the future with the game introduced different ways of actually increasing your standing, but at the moment that is pretty much the only way to get yourself given towns really quickly. It's just to do lots of tasks for the clan leaders that serve in that kingdom or faction. Unfortunately I can't give you much more information about it because there really isn't many other ways to do this. You've just got to look out for tasks and look out for those combat situations. You can even marry into families, but it doesn't boost relationships too much. You just got to try and find other ways, but mostly just, as soon as they form an army, go up to it, try and do a task. And as soon as you boost your relationships with certain clans, the only one you really need is the leader, and they will vote for you to take most of the major settlements. But obviously the more clans you have on your side, the more chance you'll have to get them, and the more you'll be voted for. Otherwise, guys, I hope this has helped. It was only a short, brief one, just to answer a few of those questions for you, but otherwise, I hope so. If you've got any more suggestions, comments, if you know anything I don't, then please let me know down in the comments below, or go ahead and message me on Discord as well. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do. It just helps the channel out, and you keep up to date with all the content that's going to be coming out. And if you've got your own playthrough going, or if you're new to the game, go check out the how-to guides, because I cover a lot of the areas in there and a lot more in depth for certain things as well. Otherwise, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.